So let's talk about the pillar one of business ethics. And this pillar is called legal compliance, which simply means following the rules. At some point in your life, you will be given a choice where you have to choose between doing something legal and doing something illegal. And when you do something, and in those scenarios, you may find that doing something illegal will give you some profits, some more profits in the short term. And doing legal will actually cause you some loss in the short term. And if you take the path of doing something illegal once and you experience some financial gain from it, and you start building a whole lifestyle on it, and you start using this money to support your family, and you have people start getting dependent on this income that you have from this illegal business. When you have to stop this business, every single person is going to suffer, because you cannot continue on forever. If you continue on forever, you will get caught and you will have to quit, and you may get caught after 10 years, 15 years. And it's also becomes a pattern. I have had people in my environment that did things illegally, and they made millions of dollars from it. But I wanted to always disassociate myself. They may be kind people, they may be good people, and you may know them, you might be one of them, but it does not last long. And here is why it does not last long. The government has control over all the weapons of this world. They have power on nuclear weapons. They control energy. They get a lot of money from taxes, and you're dealing with a very powerful entity. You are dealing with the most powerful entity in the whole region. One man's power cannot compete with the whole government. They have the best resources, they have the best scientists, they have the best IT guys, they have the best weapons. They are an undisputable force of power. If you decide to go against them, you are putting yourself in a vulnerable position, even if it's on a very small matter. I remember I used to drive, and when I was learning to drive, I didn't have a license, and a few times I took it out in the city, my car, without having a license. And I don't know what was it in the whole vibe of that drive, but I just did not feel secure. I just did not feel secure, and I just felt vulnerable, because there is always a degree of risk that somebody would stop me. And in India, especially if you are stopped when you don't have a license and you're doing something illegal, like driving a car without a license, you're putting yourself at a vulnerable position in front of the government, and they can exploit you. And there have been times when I was exploited by some officers who asked for a lot of money, or they could seize my car or whatever. So it just creates this cycle of being vulnerable and being exploited, and you are really subjecting yourself so that people can come and harm you and harm your family. The government can come and hurt you just because you did not follow the rules. So it's one of the wisest things that you can do, is doing everything by the book. You want to make money, right? You want to benefit your family, you want security, right? You want power, you want abundance. There is plenty of room to operate within the legal framework. And not only acquire wealth, keep the wealth. Because with illegal means, in the short term, you can acquire a lot of wealth and you can gain status very fast in your environment. And you can be at the top of the mountain. But you are doing it at the cost of putting yourself and people who are associated with you at a legal risk, at a vulnerable legal risk. And there are a couple of disadvantages of doing that. One of them is that you cannot really scale an illegal business. If you scale, you will get caught. And if you don't scale, you stay small. And even if you are doing something small and you don't get caught, maybe you still run a risk of being caught. So you're doing something small at the risk of being caught and anyway harming yourself and your family in the process. So I was given a choice when I was, a couple of years ago, when I was vulnerable financially, when I needed the money, when my relationships would have gotten affected if I didn't get that money. Because hey, not having money can put you in a vulnerable position so that you will be exploited for your time, for your energy, for your mind, your skills. You can be exploited for those things if you don't have the money. Somebody can show you the money and exploit you. Yes, it's a vulnerable position, but you cannot go from a vulnerable position of not having money to another vulnerable position of doing something illegal. Because eventually the chickens will come home to roost, as Jordan Belfort's father said in Wolf of Wall Street. We want the party to continue. We don't want the party to be stopped by the government. And the only way the government will not stop our party is if we are in compliance and if we are in agreement with the most powerful entity in the region. They make the laws. It's their job to enforce them and keep things in check. So you got to always follow the rules. And this is the reason why you need a lawyer, because a lawyer and a tax professional or a finance professional who can tell you who can get your company in compliance. And you may be a little bit off on compliance, but you have to always bring it within compliance. Now I understand you may not want to pay the taxes. I get it. But there are legal ways not to pay taxes. Now you want to increase your profits. I understand. You want to make a lot of money. I understand. But there are legal ways of doing the same thing. If you take a shortcut and if you don't understand that, that money that comes from an illegal business, money is supposed to create security and freedom. But if you do something illegal and get the money, where is the security and where is the freedom, really? Mentally, do you feel free? Is your business secure? It's really not. So the reason we make the money is to have the good life, to feel secure, to feel abundant, to feel freedom. Right? Those are the reasons we want money, and we don't want people to control us. Right? Those are the main reasons why you want to make the money. The moment you break the law, security is gone, because you have just exposed yourself so that the government can come after you. Freedom is going to not be there, because if you're not caught, you're thinking about ways not to get caught. So anyway, your mind is not free. And you have this shame and this hiding. This feeling of I want to hide somewhere. This sneaky feeling. So you're really not free. And what kind of abundance would a money provide when anybody can take it away from you? The government can take it away from you. So it's really not yours. If the government can take it away from you, it's really not yours. So I remember reading a book of Robert Kiyosaki where he says, if you really want to know who owns your house, just stop paying your taxes and let's see who owns your house. You or the government. So it just doesn't make any sense from a selfish point of view, okay, from the purpose why you want to make the money, to break the law. Because there is no reason to break the law when there is enough room within the law to operate and make money and stay away from trouble. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to stop everything that you have been doing illegally, whatever it is, and see how you can get the same result. I don't want to get your result affected. Same result that you're getting, exactly the same, in compliance. I don't care. You may have to form a company in UAE, operate from there. You may have to leave your city so that you don't have to pay taxes and have offshore accounts legally, everything legal. I don't know what structure you have to come up with, but get that thing in compliance, legal compliance. There are so many companies who do it legally. They do it. They increase their profit, they reduce their cost, they are in compliance, nobody can touch them. They can open their books. Here are our books, take it, look at it. No problem. They can defend themselves when they have not done anything illegal. It's extremely important to do things legally. And it's important to get legal advice, financial advice, and understand the tax code, the law, corporate law. And this is one of the reasons why business can be scary, is because you have this entity regulating what you do. If you don't understand the law, if you don't have a lawyer advising you, how is it that you're going to feel comfortable about what you're doing? How is it that you're going to feel safe about what you're doing? There is a good reason why many times people are scared of money. Many times people have this blockage of not asking for money. It's because they are not sure whether what they're doing is something legal or not legal. And they feel like money is trouble. Money is not trouble. If you make it legally, if you make it legitimately, money is not trouble. But if you make it illegally, that money is never going to provide you with security, abundance, and freedom. So it really is self-defeating to break the law. And you will be faced with this choice over and over and over again. So you got to make sure that you are in compliance from many directions. There are things to do. There are ways to do to accomplish the same outcome that you want, financial gain, legally. Same outcome. You don't have to compromise the outcome. You can have the same outcome, even more outcomes, if you operate within the law. So that's ethic number 1, pillar number 1, legal compliance. Keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next video.